Morning, everyone. Morning. Excellent. Got some energy? Excellent. Things that I want to talk about. Thank you for allowing us to video you. You are being videoed now, so if you could please just behave yourself and not swear. That would be fantastic. Things that I just want to mention very quickly before we get started. The video. Soldiers. I've got with me some soldiers, and I've got with me a hand grenade. And the reason for that is because I am at war with the recession. So it's a good idea, I think, to have some soldiers and some hand grenades. The way we're going to be using the soldiers is that it is supposed to be an interactive session. So if you have something useful or interesting to say, please say it. And if we all think it's useful and interesting, you will get a soldier. Okay? And at the end of the session, we will have a little count up and we'll see who the generals are. Okay? So that's the soldiers. You don't really want to know what the hand grenade is for. So I'm hoping we won't have to use that. So that's the soldiers and the hand grenade. I just want to talk very briefly about our experience. The idea with the farming, selling farming in the BSc crisis is that I'm kind of used to a crisis, I think. I'm in sales and marketing, so I'm really used to a crisis. But our experience of this recession is that it kind of landed on us in the middle of October 2007, where up until that time we had a little queue of people around our building who all wanted to come and do exciting marketing things with us. And we used to see a lot of people every week, and typically they would end up doing something with us. Until one day it happened that these people said, Martin, it's all great. We're really excited about what you're going to be doing for us, and we really want to do something, but we're just going to wait and see what happens. And what happens if you wait and see is that nothing happens, basically. But that started a little trend in our business where people were excited to be talking to us. They were still talking to us, but they started just to wait and see what was going to happen. So what's happened with our business in that 18 months since October 2007 is that we had to evolve to meet the needs that people have right now in this current climate. And that's what I'm looking to say to you today. So I think that this recession, this economic downturn, is the best opportunity that there has been for small businesses in the last 15 years. And you could look at me like you believe me. That would be good. So that's what I'm looking to convince you of in the next 40 minutes. I have a bit of an agenda. So what we're going to do firstly is we're going to talk about what all the fuss is about. We are going to look at the victims of this economic downturn. We are going to think about what this means for small businesses, and we're going to think about how we realise the opportunities presented by the economic downturn. That's exciting, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, good. Okay, so what I want to do just shortly is researching this. I wanted to understand what all the fuss was about. So I went to some of the newspapers. I thought it would be a really good idea to have some of the headlines that we've all been experiencing for the last 18 months. And I've got lots. But when I put the search official recession into Times, I'm not picking on the Times, apart from they do have a fantastic way of archiving their news, which is probably why I use them the most. It came up with 1,105 results. News articles that contained the terms official recession. Now, I don't know about you, but I think that's a little bit excessive. We've only officially been in recession since January the 23rd, and they cannot have written 1,100 news stories about the official recession in that time. But what you'll find if you look at this is that actually they've been talking about the official recession for a long time. I picked up the story around August 2007, when they were already telling us if you thought it could not get any worse, think again. That was August 2007. Housing bubble about to burst, say the Libs then, in September 2007. Boss angers the queuers by branding them irrational. We remember this when people were queuing in the streets to get their money out of the accounts. Mortgage lending falls by 12%. This was October 2007. Consumer spending drops to 2-year low. That was in February 2008. Hundreds more jobs are lost as economy reels. Hundreds they're talking about in July 2008. New housing orders tumbled by 35% in August 2008. Sterling's decline against dollar hits run not suffered since 1975. in August the 16th, 2008. A Nightmare on Wall Street, this is when the Lehman Brothers and these guys all fell over. That was in September 2008. Britain is in recession and 500,000 jobs now, 500,000 jobs will be lost by Christmas. So we can see how things have really started to ramp up. This was a black day for me and all Manchester United fans when it turned out that the credit crunch had struck Manchester United's £56 million shirt sponsor. That's when I started to take the recession seriously. Okay, this was a shocker. In October 2008, Britain's forced to dip into their savings for the first time since 1958. Britain faces crisis of negative equity to reach 2 million households. Jobless will total 3 million, they're telling us. But don't worry, says the Prime Minister, let the unemployed lag houses. This is the week we went into recession, warning that economy will shrink until 2010. Now this is 18th of October 2008. We are still not officially in recession at this time, I have to tell you. Recession takes a toll on the high street as sales slump. Return of the dole queues in October 2008. Brown vanishes as official figures confirm economy is diving into recession. Pound crashes to 5-year low against the dollar. Economy shrinks. Threat of worst post-war slump grows as major economies enter recession. Are you depressed yet? Unemployment hits 11-year high of 1.82 million. They were telling us it was going to be 3 like 2 weeks before this. Household spending falls. Retail figures fuel fears of long recession. Recession Britain, it's official, January the 23rd. Now the reason this date strikes me is because at this time that the recession was official, the press had been banging on about the recession for 18 months. And I knew because we've been feeling it in our business. Now, the other reason that this date strikes me is because I had the news on this day, and it went something like, duh, 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 official, we're in recession. And it's like, about time. We've been banging on about it for long enough. The next thing was, duh, 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 how bad is it going to get? Now, I'm not sure if that's news, how bad is it going to get. I'm sure that's speculation. And it's this kind of speculation, I think, that has actually damaged our economy. Okay, more is official. Recession could be worse, the worst since the 1930s. US economy shrinks. Bentley and GM announced job cuts. Bailouts to add 1.5 trillion to national debt as taxes tumble. Bank of England cuts interest rate to 1%. Over 50s frozen out in the credit crunch. If you're old, you're going to suffer. 19,000 jobs to go in building. And unemployment to soar to 3.4 million now, we think. But it's still actually much less than 2 million. So I'm sorry I had to do this to you this morning, but I had to get you to understand how serious this recession is. So this is all of the fuss, but what is all of the fuss about? We know? Do we know actually how much our economy has shrunk by? Does anyone actually have any idea how much the economy has shrunk by? It's, yeah, I'm not an economist, I'm an optimist, but I think that from the reading that I've done, it's somewhere around 1.5 or 2%. 1.5 or 2% is how much the actual economy has shrunk by. So what will 1.5 or 2% do to your business if your sales were to slow down by that much, or your turnover were to slow down that much? I think we could cope, couldn't we? I'm pretty sure we could cope. Right. I want you to do a little bit of exercise because I'm a little bit hoarse now because I've been shouting. So what I want to know is here, who's felt the effects of the recession? Actually felt the effects of the recession? Okay. A few of you have felt the effects of the recession. Okay, who's seen work slow down? Who's seen a reduction in inquiries and actually the work that they're actually doing slowing down? Okay, a few of you have seen that as well. Who knows someone that's lost their job? Okay, so this is actually touching us. And who's worried about the outcomes of the recession? Who's worried about where it's all going to go in the end? Okay. Whose mortgage payments have gone down? There's a touch, isn't it? No one's talking about that very much. And who's busier than they normally are? And who's excited about the recession? Excellent. Give it another half an hour. Okay, so this is what all of the fuss is and what all of the fuss is about. So what I want to do very quickly is I just want to look at who the victims are, and there are some very famous victims like Northern Rock, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, HBOS, estate agents and the property market, AIG, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, the banks obviously have suffered, the motor industry is suffering in a big way, and some of the high street retailers have suffered also. So there's some very famous names of businesses that are not doing very well out of this recession. The question I ask then is this then exclusively a big business affair? Is this actually something that's only really having an effect on the big players? But actually, it does have an effect for small businesses. And there is a huge rise, apparently, huge rise in companies going bust. A huge rise. In fact, companies there are 200. The rise is 220%. 220%. So 2.2 times more businesses are going out of business now than were a year or 18 months ago. And what they reckon is that there are 120 small businesses a day going out of business. Now that's a frightening statistic, isn't it? Isn't that a frightening statistic? Yeah, you are all still there. Well, you will get a chance to win some soldiers in about 5 minutes.
What was it a couple of years back then?
A couple of years back. No, this is now.
Yeah. Yeah,
What was it before? It was about it's gone up by 220%. My maths isn't that great. Actually, when I did this sum last night, the next sum last night, I had to phone my father-in-law to make sure it was correct, because my maths isn't that great. So if you think, this was last week's news, but they talked about 120 small businesses going out of business every single day. But then if you think about it, there are 4 million small businesses in the UK. 4 million. So this is the sum I had to get my father-in-law to test for me. That is 0.003% of businesses in the UK are going out of business every day. 0.003%. So what that means is that if we sustain that rate for a year, for a whole year, 1% of businesses in the UK will have gone out of business. So that is 1 in 100 businesses going out of business in a whole year. Have I made my point? There's not likely to be a business in here. If we were twice as many people, then one of us might have gone out of business this year. Okay? If we're doing sensible things. So what does this mean for small businesses? For me, it means a return to age-old things. For me, what's going on now is a return to normality. Because 10 or 15 years ago, we didn't do business like this. We weren't reliant on credit. We weren't relying on bank loans or mortgages or any of those things. Basically, you had to generate your cash to sustain your business. So those old age things are cash, for example. The cash is becoming a thing of the past, isn't it? Where we don't actually have to carry it in our pocket. I actually felt put out when I went to the chemistry today because I was spending less than £10. He insisted that I pay cash. But I had to go to the cash machine and leave with £3 of change in my pocket. I thought it was a huge imposition. So you need to have cash in your business. Value. People are looking now at their suppliers, and they are looking at the suppliers that deliver them value. So if you want to be keeping your customers, you need to be delivering value. And if you want to be staying in business, you need to be making sure that you are getting value from your suppliers. Does that make sense? Need. We remember this when we used to need stuff. Because for a long time, if you've needed anything, you can just go and organise, you can put it on your credit card, you can get a loan. So everything's been possible. No one's had to wait for anything, so nobody's needed anything. And Christmas has become embarrassing, where it's like, what do you want? Well, I don't really want anything. What do you need? I don't really need anything. I need a book, I'll go and buy it. If I need a holiday, I'll go and take a holiday. So need is coming back. And the big one for me is opportunity. Opportunity is coming back. And the reason that I think this is a fantastic opportunity is because what is happening is that the British market is finally becoming dynamic. For me, it's been stodged up for too long with businesses that have been sustained on credit and don't actually deliver value for their customers. So even though it's moving in the wrong direction by 1, 1.5 or 2%, at least it is moving. And nobody's talking about these 120 businesses a day that are going out of business. Nobody's talking about their customers. So where do their customers go once their supplier has gone out of business? We are seeing it already, where in fact, if one of our customers' IT supplier goes out of business, they need to replace that company in a hurry. It's not like it was 2 years ago, where they might be thinking about replacing their IT supplier, so they're going to go through a procurement process. It's not happening like that at all. If you can do the job, you're in, and you can win the customers. So if each of those 120 businesses have only 10 customers each, that's 1,200 customers a day are in a hurry to find a solution. That, for me, is a huge opportunity. Okay, I'm ready for the horse. I've got a question for you. Oh, let's talk more about this opportunity. This apparently is a fact. More millionaires were created in the last recession than at any other time in history. That, for me, goes to the need issue. Out of adversity comes opportunity, for definite. The other thing that people are saying is that businesses that start in a recession are more resilient, are more persistent than any other business. Why? Because they have to do it properly. They have to do it properly to make it work. And so they go on to become the most successful businesses. And here is a good news story. Second eBay millionaire emerges from recession. So this is actually going on right now. People have very real needs that really need to be met. And if you can meet them, you can do very well. Okay, the question. So I have a question. I'm interested in this idea of opportunity. So what I'd like you to do now, for about 5 minutes, you have to be quite quick, is I want you to, in your tables, I want you to fly around the table very quickly and get from everyone an idea of what you could be achieving in your business that you couldn't have achieved 12 months ago. And then I want you in your tables just to pick one, and we're going to talk about that in about 5 minutes' time. So, your time starts now. When I come back, we're going to talk about how we realise these opportunities. Okay, so, talking in rather hushed tones, but quite excitedly, I thought about opportunities. So maybe this is not going to be so bad for us. What I like to do now is think about how we realise these opportunities. So for me, the danger is in waiting. What happens if you wait and see is that nothing happens, actually, is my experience. And the way I'm thinking about this is, what if the world has changed? What if this isn't like a transitory thing and we can just sit it out, and in a year or 2 years it's going to come back and people are just going to start throwing money at us again, whether we offer them value or not. So that's kind of the way that I'm thinking. Right, so you will be not surprised to hear that the way I think that you will realise these opportunities is through effective marketing. And the big opportunity for me right now is to run your businesses properly. So what I want to do, and there's an opportunity here for you to be picking up soldiers, so this is where it gets interactive. I've checked my insurance. I am not insured. If you get injured by being hit by one of these soldiers, please don't make a claim. There will be no money coming to you. Okay, so I need someone who can write quite quickly and not give me any trouble. Well done, Rob. Okay, cool. So we have 6 steps, and we'll test you right now on how quickly you can write. Is that too high for you? Okay, so step 1 of effective 6 steps for effective marketing. Step 1 is know your business. We have it a bit bigger than that. Know your business. Okay, steps 2 is understand where you want to go. So set objectives. Step 3 is about positioning. Positioning. Step 4 is about proactive marketing. Step 5 is about maximizing sales. And step 6 is about measuring your effectiveness. Okay, cool. So if you know your business, what do you know? Or soldiers? No, we really need to go fast. We've got 10 minutes to do this now. So if you know your business, what do you need to know? Quickly. Customers. You need to know.
What you good at?
Sorry, Josh, you was louder. Okay, customers. You want to understand your customers. What will you know about your customers?
What they want.
What they want, firstly.
Budget.
Their value, their budget. All of these things. Is that how we spell what?
Budget.
Their value, their budget. All of these things. Is that how we spell what? Yeah. Okay? All of these things. What else will we know if we know our business?
What you good at?
What you're good at, that's fantastic.
What you good at?
What your product is, your offering, your costs, your pricing, service.
Yes.
Your USP, that's fantastic. Okay. Other things that you might know, other than these things. What about your competition? Isn't it worth understanding a little bit more about what your competition knows? There's a soldier for me. Your market. What about the scale of the opportunity? Competition. I said that's really important. Okay. Okay. So competitions. You want to know the same thing about your competitors. What they offer, who they offer it to, how they offer it to them, who their customers are. Where are their customers going to go when they go out of business? Where are your competition's customers going to go when they go out of business? To you, if you are watching them. That's great. What about your performance? What about how many sales you make, the value of your sales, how often you make those sales, the persistence of your customers? This is a life's work, understanding your business. We're quite good at it. We try to do it with our customers. It takes a lot of energy and a lot of time, but it has huge, huge value. So your performance, things like your break-even, things like your cost, things like your profit margin, things like the number of sales that you make in a day or a week or a year. This is all really valuable, really exciting stuff. So that is know your business. Step 2. What was step 2? Set objectives. What can we be achieving in our businesses? This is the things we were talking about a second ago, so this should be really easy. For soldiers, we were talking about this 2 minutes ago. You were talking about growth. Thank you very much. What else could we be achieving in our businesses? Or profit. Yes, first. Okay. What else could we be achieving in our businesses? Customer satisfaction. Fantastic. That's something we should know as well. When did anyone here last do a customer satisfaction survey? Actually go to their customers and say, how happy are you? In the last month. Fantastic. In the last day. Excellent. You can have a soldier for that. Okay. So, customer satisfaction. What else could we be achieving in our businesses? Happiness. Happiness. Thank you, Mike. We could be happy in our businesses. Are you happy in your business, Mike? Always. Will a soldier make you happier? Absolutely. Excellent. Okay, so we could achieve happiness. What about new customers? What about new orders? What about new product lines? What else could we be achieving? New ways of doing business, new ways of winning customers. Tim here was talking about the contra deals that he's doing. He's picking up some first-class accounts in Brighton by offering them contra deals. So being a bit more imaginative. There are lots of things that we could be achieving if we set objectives. So this is about knowing where you go. If I had a soldier for all of you, you could all have a soldier for not saying, not going bust. Step 3. What was step 3?
Positioning.
Positioning. So what do we mean when we talk about positioning? Karen? Where you sit in the marketplace and what do? You do brand. Yeah, we mean brand. Okay, but your associations, where are you that people can find you? The question for me is, if these 1,200 businesses a day are looking for new suppliers, are they going to find you? Are they going to find you? They should find you. It's much easier to make a sale when you pick up the phone and say, how can I help you? Rather than when you call them and say, you don't know me, but I'm hoping I can help you. It's very different indeed. So here again, we think about our offering. What is it that we offer that our customers actually need, and how do we represent that to our customers? So we've got brand, we've got associations. So I'm talking about industry associations, I'm talking about local associations, chambers, and all those kinds of things, and networking. Make sure you're out there, so when people are looking for your services, they will find you. What is the other one? Where do people go to buy things? For a soldier, the internet. The internet. So will people find you for the things that you do on the internet? If they don't, they definitely should. Because there's huge amounts of money being spent online. Okay, we might actually get this done in 10 minutes. I'll take a breath. What was step 4? Proactive marketing. Now this is where, when people think about marketing, this is where everybody gets on. Because nobody wakes up at 4 o'clock in the morning and thinks, wait a minute, I haven't got any customers, I haven't got any sales, I haven't got any leads, I need a marketing strategy. No, they think, I haven't got any customers, I haven't got any leads, I'll probably need to bang out a few calls, or a few emails, or do some work on the website. If you haven't done the forward thinking, this is not likely to work. This is why we fall down. So what I'm going to do for you in 2 minutes is tell you exactly the proactive marketing that works. But before that, I want you all, for soldiers, to tell me what could we be doing in the way of marketing. Sorry? We could be phoning, we could be doing some telemarketing, that's great. Yeah, phoning, yes please. Let's go on the website. Press advertising. How are you doing? Direct mail. TV. Direct mail where? Blogging. Are you sure?
Yeah. Media articles.
Media, articles, press.
Twitter.
Blogging. Twitter. Exhibitions. Open days. I think we've got a general over here. Giving talks. Oh, sorry. Events. Running events. Networking. Sponsorship. Was that you? Are you sure? Okay. What else could we be doing in terms of proactive marketing? Giving talks at breakfast. Yeah, we've had that one. Did you have something else? Because I fancy seeing if I can get a soldier to you this time. Okay, what else could we be doing? Is there anything we've missed?
Staying in touch with existing clients.
Yeah, touching your existing clients. That's one of my favourites. Word of mouth, referrals, newsletters, testimonials, surveys and questionnaires. Who doesn't have a soldier?
Search engine optimization.
So we've had that one, great. Pay-per-click, blog. E-shops, email marketing. We love email marketing. It's fantastic. It's almost for free once you have the data. Okay, so what else? Is there anything else we've missed? PR. Is there anything else that we've missed?
Hiring you.
Hiring you. Hiring me? Well, I
Can
am
I get a
available
general
for
for
hire.
that? Yourself?
Yourself. Yourself. Yeah. Let's get more proactive. Okay, you can have a soldier for that. So, do we want to know what of all of this works? Yeah? We really want to know what all of this works. Yeah? We do?
Yep.
I need to see some enthusiasm. Yes, we want to see. The answer is all of this works. All of this works. If you've done the planning and you can integrate all of this stuff, then your marketing will start to work. If you dip in and out and do a bit of press this week and a bit of email next week and a bit of something else the week after that, it's not likely to work. But all of this works if you do it properly. Even the one that we haven't got, which is advertising, will work if you do it properly and it's considered as part of a plan. Let's turn the page. Number 5. What was number 5? Maximising sales. So, what is sales? Somebody, what is sales? Orders. It's not what I'm looking for. Cash in the bank. Cash in the bank. It's not what I'm looking for.
Profit.
Selling things. Yeah, selling products. That's what it is. It's not what I'm looking for. Do you think I really have a chance of guessing what I'm thinking? Promotion. No, for me, sales is simply making it easy for people to buy. Making it easy for people to buy. That's it. If you are spending your time convincing people or answering objections, then you're not really selling. Trying to convince people who don't really want to buy what you want to sell is not sales. It's frustrating. And that, for me, is about maximising sales. So for me, the best sales organisation in the world, the ones that never ever phone up for sales training, they don't need to know about objections, they don't need to know about negotiation, they don't need to know about any of that stuff, is, can we guess who I'm thinking about? There's no reason why you should. McDonald's. Well done, Jill. Oh, because you were there on Thursday. That's a fraud. Okay, so McDonald's, because what happens is we get to the front of the queue, we ask for exactly what they sell, we're prepared to pay exactly what they charge, and all they do is maximise the sale. Would you like fries with that? Or is that a large? Or can I get you a drink with that? That's all they do. That, for me, McDonald's is perfect sales and marketing. Who here is responsible for selling in their businesses? Most of you. Who here has invested in some sales training in the last month? 6 months? Year? 5 years? Invest in some sales training, that's my advice. Step 6, do you remember what step 6 was? Step 6 was measurement. So for me, who was it? Was it one of the lever people said, I know that 50% of my marketing is effective, I just don't know which 50%. If he was alive today, there would be absolutely no excuse for him to say that, because there is no reason why, firstly, you should be investing in marketing that you can't measure. Why would you do that? Just give the money to me. And secondly, there are lots of ways to measure the effectiveness of marketing. Email provides fantastic information. Your website will provide fantastic information. You can put dedicated telephone numbers on every single advert that you run, on your business card. So there is absolutely no reason to not to understand the value of the investments that you're making in your marketing. So measure everything is what I say. And if you can't measure it, don't even bother doing it. We've just seen that there's 30 other things that you could do. The only place where this falls down is where you fail, the human element, where you might fail to say to someone that you meet out in networking, how did you find out about us? But do it. Measure the effectiveness of your marketing. Okay, so that was the 6 steps in 10 minutes. We've never done it in 10 minutes before, but I'm quite pleased with that. There's 3 soldiers left up for grabs, but I don't even know if I've got anything left to tell you. What I've got now is a little bit of a millionaire. Right, has anyone seen this sign? That's a fantastic little message, isn't it? Isn't that a fantastic message? Does anyone know what it's about for a soldier? It's from the war. Who said that? Excellent, well done. It's from the war. So, when there was a very real threat that we might have been invaded by the Nazis, a civil servant somewhere came up with this very simple message. So if we are invaded, I've got goosebumps thinking about it now. Wartime spirit. So if we are invaded by the Nazis, the advice coming from government was to keep calm and carry on. Isn't that a fantastic message? What's going on with this now is that somebody found this behind a load of books that they bought about 2 years ago, set up a website, keepcalmandcarryon.com, and is now shipping 300 to 500 products a week. Cups, t-shirts, posters. Keep calm and carry on is the message. Now this was a revelation for me when I found this in October, and I spent £5 on a little postcard, and it sits on our wall, and this was the message. But of course, we've evolved the message since then. So now the Effective Marketing Card Company are telling you to get excited and kick ass. That's me. Thank you very much. There's still 2 soldiers. Who are the generals? Who's got, I think you're the general. How many do you have? 10. Does anyone have 10 soldiers? No, so I think well done.